Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be speaking about all the jobs that you can do in January. And it's a new year and a lot hasn't really happened in the world since last year, and a lot of stuff is still sort of quite stopped and not much going on and not very busy, which is actually quite nice. And you've always got to remember in these times that the garden never stops. All these plants, they don't know any different, they don't know there's a pandemic, so they're constantly still growing and still going through their cycle. So we still need to care for our garden, and I think that's something important to remember in these times. So let's get on with the video where I'll speak to you all about the things that you can do in January. And before this video gets started, please make sure if you're new here, you go down below, hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon to make sure you're notified next time I upload a video. And as you might be able to see, it's actually quite chilly here today, and we've been getting, the last week or so, we've been getting about -2, -3 every night, and that's sort of since it snowed here, because we had quite a bit of snow. So all this ground here is rock solid, so there's not much sort of planting we can be doing because it's a bit difficult to dig into the soil. But there is still some stuff that we can be doing. And I know I said that the ground is rock solid and there's not much we can actually do with the ground, but one thing you can do is to spread compost or well-rotted manure on top of the soil, a bit of a mulch. That's what I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks, ready for the season. And especially in a new garden area like this, it's good to mulch it to protect it from the sun and the elements, from erosion. But it's also good just for adding nutrients into the soil so that you can get more harvests from next year. And if you follow me on my other social media, then you'll know that I've made myself a bigger compost bin. So that means that for what I just said, where I'll be able to mulch more compost on the soil, I will have more compost to mulch, so I won't have to buy as much in. I'll only need to buy good fine compost in for like planting seeds and stuff like that. But this is about 1 metre by 1 metre, and I'd say it's just over 1 metre tall as well. And in the summer I did this because in the summer, normally my 2 Dalek compost bins, I don't really have enough space to put all of the grass clippings, all of the weeds, all of the cardboard, all of the veg clippings, things like that. So that's why I think this will be an absolute game changer, because I can just fill it, and I don't think I'll be able to fill it, to be honest, it's so big. And when the other ones are full and composting, I'll have somewhere else that I can put my compost. And there aren't actually many vegetables that you can be planting in the garden at the moment outdoors, but there are some that you can do indoors under cover. Such as in a heated greenhouse or a well-insulated greenhouse like my Harvest greenhouse, or in a sunny windowsill, and I'll speak about them now. So in a sunny windowsill or in a well-insulated greenhouse or heated greenhouse just like this one, then you will be able to plant some things such as cabbage, spinach, lettuce and onions and garlic and things like that now. And you can also plant your garlic, garlic cloves at the moment if you haven't already. And a greenhouse like this is great, and I'll link Harvest down below. And Harvest is actually more than just greenhouses. They actually want to create a growing community, and that's why as part of their website they have a forums. And so basically if you're not a Harvest owner, there's still forums for you. So if you have any interest in gardening, or if you're especially new to gardening, then these forums are great because there's a general chat area where you can post your questions as a topic, and then there'll be a whole thread of comments and replies and of helpful people who've been growing for years, or even people who haven't been growing for years, who can answer your question. And so there's actually quite a lot that you can still be harvesting at this time. One of those is winter veg, like kale and sprouts, if they haven't been attacked by birds and things like that. This is some Taunton Dean perennial kale, and I took a cutting of this and put it in my harvester recently. And I'm hoping that'll root, because this is actually a cutting from a neighbour. But this, I've just pinched it out, this one, because I was starting to worry a bit. It was getting taller and taller and taller and not much sort of lower growth. So what I've done is I've pinched the top out, and lower down then it should send some more shoots out and some more branches of leaves, because I think this is probably my favourite kale. It's quite sweet. And I know I've talked a lot about this harvester today, but I don't just mean this harvester, I mean anything that's undercover. So I'm actually, this section here, which might be a new part of these jobs for the month now, is things that you can do undercover this month, because a lot of people do have greenhouses like my one here, and polytunnels and things that they can grow in as well. So in here the door was actually frozen closed this morning. I've got some oriental mixed salad leaves that I've started growing, and I think they've started to show themselves, but I'm not 100% sure if it's them or a weed, to be honest. But I have also got in here, I've got some onions in there, which is where I've got my Harvest soil and moisture tester in there, so that on my phone I can check what the soil and moisture is. So something else that you can grow undercover at the moment is anything that I mentioned earlier that you can sow at this time of year behind glass or indoors. So make sure you get sowing and get planting. And I'm afraid that's all I have for this episode, and that's all I have for this month for jobs. So I hope you enjoyed. Please go down below, hit the subscribe button, like the video and leave a comment to let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.